2010 graduates. Today is the day we mark big change. Today, we change from high school students into graduates. Young adults, some headed for college, some to serve, some to enter the working world. But all of us will change. Today we woke up expecting change. While we have all anticipated this joy, no one among us is unfamiliar to change. As teenagers, our lives can be quite unpredictable, but we have learned how to deal with the different circumstances that we face both alone and together with every new step. When we began our career at Boulder High, we were average, awkward freshmen. Entering high school was like throwing everything we learned in middle school out the window. But we eventually moved through the freshman Fridays, changing and adapting to our new school. As sophomores, we grew up a little more and began to affect changes as well as adapt to them. We finally won the Boulder Fairview game and got our driver's licenses. They built a new mall for us to hang out at, and while it sold mostly clothes to women over 40, there was always the theater and the Apple Store. Our celebrations were accompanied by a changing world that saw violence entering American high schools at an alarming rate. We were asked for the first time to take responsibility as adults and become more vigilant against threats that needed to be taken seriously. I certainly will never forget turning the corner onto Arapahoe to confront the SWAT team poised behind trees. As our community responded that morning to protect us, change and adaptation had never really hit home so hard. And it was not too far a leap to see Boulder High at the center of debate, even on Bill O'Reilly, as we prepared to enter a contentious election year with change as the cornerstone in not just American politics, but throughout our world at large. We grew into juniors, finally upperclassmen, and with that, our egos soared. We built a new gym and said goodbye to taking AP tests on flatboards. For the first time, we became members of a generation defined by our music, movies, and of course, Facebook. The explosion of social networks had most of us becoming masters of the internet, with technology and texting more and more taking the place of daily conversations. We paddled through alphabet soup that year, completing the SAT, ACT, and of course the PSAT and MSQT. And we emerged as seniors. We celebrate now the changes that have come our way as we have moved from teenagers to adults. We have adapted to technology. Our relationships today aren't considered valid until they are Facebook official. Our class, more than any before it, has become more vigilant, our own local face to the new world we live in. And we have prepared to move on to the next step, life after high school. While things changed around us inside our high school bubble, life at a greater scale has changed markedly throughout our world. 4 years ago, we entered high school in a certain and positive economy. And we leave here today with many of us questioning more than ever before in our lifetimes whether or not we'll be able to afford our college education or get a job. With the growing incidence of natural disaster, we know that they are more and more likely to touch any one of us, and they have. We have struggled to fight global warming, and believe it or not, we still haven't found a solution to world hunger. We have learned to fear terrorism, and we have witnessed a shift in our national policies and attempts to outsmart it. Our nation, our world, like us, has changed. Now I ask you to think about our change today. The changes we have undergone as individuals in high school have been our preparation to continue adapting in the new world. It is now our choice, and no one else's, to transform our high school skills into those needed to advance science and improve the human condition. After all, we come from the smartest city in the country. If we can't utilize the skills we have, then who can? We are young, and we have been raised in a time both hopeful and ominous, unlike any other time before it. We can more than navigate Facebook, we are masters of multitasking, and more than any 18-year-olds before us, able to take advantage of the rapid pace of technological change. As we leave here today, we celebrate all that was our high school experience and all the changes we have undergone. We have learned how to accept change, and we are learning every day how to make it work for us. And now, as the leaders of our time, not tomorrow but now, we all must learn how to direct those skills to improve ourselves, our communities, and our Earth. Thank you.